So I've had some time now to read some of your comments and learned a little bit about the game and all that stuff. And in this video, we're going to put in practice the way that the developers have actually designed the mission system, which I still don't agree with. And I think it can definitely be improved by a very simple change. And I will tell you exactly what that is in the course of this video. I think you're going to be like, oh yeah, that makes way too much sense. Man, I can't believe they didn't do that initially. I know, right? Especially since they have some Kerbal Space Program 1 modders working for them. You'd think they would have thought of it. Anyway, so today we're going to do Mooner's Signal. We need to find the source of the mysterious signal on the moon. This is actually the last mission we're going to do. Hopefully I get to it in this video. We're actually going to try to hit these three first. The reason being is because my existing craft, I've already tried this in some testing and I didn't want to like waste your time with me trying it out. But I've tried to reposition the probe that we're going to be working with right at the beginning of this video to where it flies directly over the signal source. And it does not work. I think you actually have to land, because I've got my craft within 1.5 kilometers of it while flying over to like in orbit. I was only up a kilometer and a half and it still didn't register. So pretty sure we have to land next to it. So we're going to look at doing that second. First thing that we're going to do is change and try this satellite into hitting these three things to practice the stuff that you guys are saying is possible. And what you're saying is possible, let's go to the tracking station, go to my craft, go to vessels and control. What you're saying is possible is that you can complete those mission objectives with existing crafts. You don't have to launch new crafts to complete them. Now, just to test it out, because I wasn't sure if it would actually work and I didn't want to spend the time in video showing you something that won't actually work, because I don't know how the missions work, right? I have to know the parameters of the missions. You actually have to land on this thing. So I've already adjusted my orbit once to where this thing gets like less than 1.5 kilometers above it, straight above it. And it didn't trigger the mission. It didn't say I was successful. And I wasted all my fuel with this rocket doing that, and I can't do the rest of this. So I wanted to demonstrate another way that missions should be done. So here are the missions that we want to do. And in order to see those missions, of course, we have to go back to the mission control. So it's eccentric. What we need to do first, let's lonely satellite, get a probe core in orbit of Kerbin. That's what we're already controlling, is a probe core. So as soon as we get back in orbit of Kerbin, this one will be completed. We've already done it before, of course, but that doesn't matter. This wasn't on the list when we did it, so we have to do it again, except we could do it with the same craft that we already have. You see what I'm saying? It's a little weird. Anyway, escaping Kerbin. We're also going to get out of Kerbin's gravitational sphere of influence. That means solar orbit. That doesn't mean go to the orbit of the moon. It means, because the moon is in range of Kerbin, so you need to get away from Kerbin itself. That means going solar orbit, so we're going to do that too. Before we do that, though, we're also going to get an eccentric orbit around Kerbin, which is a periapsis of 70 to 150 kilometers for our periaps, and an apoapsis that's within 300 to 8,400 kilometers. So a very eccentric orbit. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this probe that we have, we're going to deorbit, so go back to the tracking station, go to control. There we go. We are going to take this probe, and it is going retrograde around the moon. It's a retrograde orbit. So typically your orbits more commonly are going to be going counterclockwise around planets. You're going to be going this direction. And that's usually has to do with a rotation, like the Earth rotates that direction, right? And most celestial bodies that are in orbit are going to be orbiting counterclockwise. So typically your orbits are going to be counterclockwise. But this one is going clockwise. This one is in a retrograde orbit. And so instead of burning on the dark side or on the Kerbin side of the moon, we're going to burn on the opposite, because it's going to give us most fuel efficiency in terms of getting closer to Kerbin when we exit. So we're going to go prograde here. It's going to allow us to exit, and we're going to go about like that with it. And we're going to try to get this to be about, it needs to be 150, right? So we're going to get it to be about right there. That seems fine. And it's going to take us 295 meters per second of delta V to do this. But after we burn this, after we do this burn, we're going to tick off one of our missions that we're doing. And you can see this down this little app bar down here, okay? If I click the mission tracker, you can see that Mooner Signal is here. Okay, primary missions in this mission tracker. Okay, I can't see my secondary ones. In order to do that, I have to track them. Okay, so we're gonna look at that in a second. First, let's zoom ahead to where we are right near our burn. High moon. Everything's gonna be fine, don't worry. And we're gonna get to about here. Okay, and this is precise enough. We don't need to wait for it to be exact, so let's just hit it. It's fine. And bring it right in. Done. It's probably even a little bit too much. Yeah, 104. That's fine too. Okay, so we are now on course to leave the moon sphere of influence and go out that way. Let's go back to the mission control to go all the way back to a whole new full screen window. Let's go ahead and track this mission. You can also middle click on these to track them. There we go. Track, track, track. Okay. And now they're all tracked. Good. You have to manually track them. They're not automatically tracked. Back to the tracking station. Go over to our vessel. And if I go down to this list, you can now see the mission tracker has all of our missions on it. All right. Thing number one I wish would happen. Don't make me track them. Like, just have them auto-tracked and put them in this list. All right. Or, here's a thought. Have tracked missions, have its own section, and then you can do primary and secondary. And that way I can only have my tracked missions open automatically, but have the secondary and primaries have everything right here. Basically take everything that the mission control center is showing me and put it right here. All right. So I don't have to go back and tab out and go to a different screen. Okay. Don't make me load 2 loading screens. For me, it's very fast, but I don't know if that's the same experience everyone else has because, you know, I'm on a 7950X and a 7950X 3D and a 4090. So it's like not indicative of what the performance of the game is. You should never look at any game on this channel. You should never look at the performance I'm getting as a statement of the optimization of the game. All right. See how it checked it right here? So it's going to tell me that it's here, but I can't get the science for it. I have to go back to mission control. Click this, listen to this person speak, click, 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 then get this, click this, and then if anything new is there, I will see it in the list, for which I then have to manually track it. That entire process is pointless. It really sucks. And then I have to go back to the tracking station to go back to my flight, because especially if I have multiple crafts, they're all going to be appear in a list and I'm going to have to find that craft again. In this case, I only have one in orbit, period. So it's here. But that entire experience should be straight up, click here, and it disappears and you get the science for it. That entire experience should be like that. So the whole thing takes too long, in my opinion. That's how I would fix it. Okay? But it is what it is. The point is, you can see you don't have to have a new craft. A lot of the missions in Kerbal Space Program 1 required a new craft to be launched in order to complete those objectives. And this game does not do that. So, yeah. Okay, we need to get this within 8,400 on the other side. So we're going to bring this right about there. And that's going to use up another 43 meters per second. But that is going to get us the second objective, which is the eccentric orbit. We need to have our apoapsis be under 8,400 kilometers, and that's what this will do for us. So we're going to be ready to rock and roll here. There's no science to gather. And that's the next thing we're going to do. So let's face the maneuver. There we go. And of course, I could do this with no fuel requirements at all if I would just, aero brake instead. But it's a probe with an extended antenna. And honestly, I don't care. I have enough fuel to do what I need to do anyway, I'm pretty sure. Okay, so let's go ahead and warp to our maneuver. Whee! There we go. Just slam us right into place. And then the only thing we need to do here is burn retrograde. There we go. Close enough. Burn retrograde and bring that in range. So we'll just bring that down. And we are good. That's it. Done. Eccentric orbit achieved. Now we can turn around, prograde. If we turn around fast enough, we'll be able to pull this off. And now we burn prograde. Go. And good. We are now leaving Kerbal. Or leaving Kerbin, sorry. We're going to leave Kerbin's sphere of influence with this. And this rocket is now going to go into a solar orbit, which is to say it is going out here. And we could just burn more if we want to, just to really, you know, expend all the fuel just for the sake of it. Maybe we even bring it out to Duna's area. Not quite. Okay, so we're definitely going to be way away from Kerbin now. Maybe one day the stars will align perfectly and this satellite will end up crashing into Kerbin. It's possible, but improbable. But now exit Kerbin's sphere of influence is the next mission. So we just zoom ahead here with our time acceleration. And we leave. And we leave Kerbin and we are gone. That takes care of everything we need with this satellite. Now this satellite should just stay like right here is fine. It's got access to the sun from there. And it's going to float in this orientation kind of indefinitely. I think why don't we just point it down like this? That's good. Well, at least I thought it was. Let's trying to get a feel for where the angle is on this. I think, yeah, if we were to go, yeah, this should be good actually. It should have sun exposure the entire year with that angle. Yeah, all right, good. So that's it. That's done. So now we need to go back to the mission control and we can complete all of these objectives. Submit, continue, done, submit, continue, done. Only thing left now is the lunar signal, right? That's what we're gonna have to work on now. So we need to send a Kerbal up to do that because that satellite, again, I've already tested this, that satellite isn't capable of getting this. We have to get closer to it. And the only way I'm going to get closer than 1,000 meters, 1,500 meters above it is to land. Because if you start getting lower than that, you're going to crash before you can get there, or you're going to crash after because there's mountains around it, right? So like you can't get too low. So I'm going to go to the vehicle assembly building. And we are going to load the design for Armstrong. And with Armstrong loaded, we're going to make an adjustment because we kind of over-engineered this thing and we don't need it to be quite so big. So we are going to make an adjustment by taking away the fuel in this tank. And that is going to be all we're going to do. We're going to change that. The other thing I can change is how many boosters I'm sending. But really, what it came down to there was just having too much fuel in this stage. The fuel that I didn't need was in this stage. Now we can also go over here to the sidebar. And if I click this, it's going to show me different things about my vessel. Okay. It's going to break down all of these, you know, the meters per second and everything that it has. But there's actually these little gear boxes here, these little cog or whatever. And if I click that, then it gives me calculations based on vacuum or atmosphere. And that changes the numbers a little bit when it comes to thrust to weight ratio and all that stuff, which again is very small text. And I do wish that it scaled better on 4K monitors. Everything else seems to scale, just not the tiny details that are associated with all these different things. But I digress. It is what it is. It's fine. Okay, so this is going to be the new moon landing vessel. Okay, now actually, we could make one other modification to this because I think we're going to be in relatively the same biome. We could get rid of the Science Junior. We don't need it for this. And normally I would get rid of it because of costs, but since we don't have money to manage, we could just keep it. So everything else about this craft is exactly the same as we had before, except for that. And the Kerbal, because instead of Bob this time, we're going to send Jeb. Hey, Jeb, you get to go to the moon this time. Okay. So same thing as before. We're on the launch pad, and we're going to bring this down to about 40 or so. Hit go. Lift off. Seems pretty cool, man. Lifting off. We're going to have a slight tilt here. I'm not going to get too crazy with it. And once it starts getting to be where it's kind of outside our control, I'm going to activate that other engine. And it's just all about feeling it. You guys can't see it, but it's all about how it feels. How is the rocket moving? How does it feel? And right about now, I think I want that extra authority. There we go. And we're just going to tilt it a little bit more. It's starting to get away from me a little bit. Yep, pull it back. Okay. Yeah, if you know how to drive it, you can get away with things. All right, I think we're set. Yes, I think we're good. All right, perfect. So stable, very nice ascent. We're gonna pump this engine all the way up here. Get rid of the boosters. And off we go. Jebediah Kerman, who's having a field day here. It is a little bit squirrely. I don't have a whole lot for stability on this side. It's a little bit squirrely, but we're good to go there. All right. We can let our coast now. Our apoapsis is 85. So we're firmly in space at this point. I don't think there's any science to gather, but we'll hit it anyway. Because it doesn't seem to cost us much here. We can try to keep ourselves facing prograde, although it doesn't really matter. Let's ascend up into space here. And there we go. We are now firmly in space. Very good. And now I want to point at the horizon and just give it a little bit of a nudge. So just a little bit of a burn here as we get ourselves tilted at the horizon. There we go. And about like that, please. All right. Yep. Point at the horizon. And we're watching our time to apoapsis go down steadily here. Let's just try to control that just a little bit more. There we go. And we'll go full blast with it. 11 seconds, 10. I'm probably a little bit slow on that. Yeah, I'm a little bit slow on it. Let's pick it up a little bit. 5 seconds. 6 seconds. There we go. I like to see that. Just hold it at 6 seconds. 7. Perfect. I mean, it's not very efficient, but I over-engineered the thing because of this, so it's fine. I thought I had more thrust to weight here, to be honest. I thought it was going to push me a little bit faster, but I guess I just don't remember my own rockets. It's fine. It's a game. It's a video game. There we go. Come on now. Yeah, that's a really long burn compared to what I thought I needed. I would have been burning a long time ago otherwise. All right, I think we're pretty solid here. I could probably just go horizon directly. I think we're pretty solid now. So we'll just point at prograde. Yep, we're going to be good here. There we go. No need to waste any fuel here. Let's keep ourselves around 80, 88, 89 on the apoapsis. Still have 1,600 meters per second in this stage remaining. So it's, I think maybe it's because I removed that gas tank. It has, okay, we are circularized around 89 kilometers up, and we have over 1,500 meters per second remaining. We're also traveling the correct direction to just pretty much immediately get going on our moon burn here. So we'll just burn straight at the moon here until we see it pick up. Let's also go ahead and hit that as a target. There we go. pull this back a little bit, and we're going to be going the right direction now. That should be pretty good. And that's another 855 meters per second. So we'll get going towards that. I honestly thought this stage would have already used up all of its fuel. So maybe I could have even gone with maybe less boosters. Blasphemy, I know. You mean we could have had less boosters? Who does that? Zoom to the maneuver. Especially with JEB flying. I mean, with JEB flying, JEB does not do less boosters, okay? That is just not his way. We don't do that. Pointed right at the moon, man. Look at that. Feels good. It's going to feel good, too, when the music picks up and everything for the burn. I think that, again, I said it before, I think they did a fantastic job on the sound. Just immersing you in the experience of the music and everything. I think it's great. That's the other game. The first game didn't do that. All the sound effects with Kerbals talking on the ignition, how the music picks up, sort of crescendos, if you will, on your let's actually take I wanted to track the thing, but I don't think that's gonna work. Again, I really want these numbers to be bigger. They're so small. If you're watching this on a phone or a tablet even, or even a small... Okay, that was overdone. Let's turn around. We went too far. If you're watching this on a small screen, I apologize for the text being so incredibly small for you. It was a problem in Kerbal Space Program 1. It was the primary reason why I played at lower resolutions in Kerbal Space Program 1, was to get you guys to where you could read all the text. I'm going to go just ever so slightly towards the moon here, bring it back, and we have 44 is fine. I think I'm all right with 44. Okay, we're headed towards the moon now. Let's get ourselves to where we can see the sun and make sure that we have solar coverage on our solar panels. No, don't do that. This is fine. Just get a quick rotation. Let's get a rotation. There we go. Just get one of those panels facing the sun is all I want you to do. Just one of those panels looking at the sun. Perfect. Just hold it right there. No more science left to get. Okay, let's zoom ahead to... I don't know. It doesn't really matter. We'll go to this point. Zoom, zoom, zoom. We're going to the moon. Looks like it's going to have to be... It's over here, isn't it? Yeah, warp to this point. There we go. Okay. Accelerate even further. And there we go. All right, we are now at the moon once more. And what we want to do is adjust the orbit so we can get in a better position sooner. We have lots of fuel. That's one thing we really have a lot of here. But if I can adjust it earlier, and that whips me over to where I can be over top of that spot, I mean, that's just going to be helpful in every other way, right? So let's bring ourselves around to an orbit that gets me over top of where I want to be here. Let's about like that. That seems much better than we had before. So we'll go about like that with it. All right, let's point towards maneuver node. So we're going to end up burning a little bit retrograde here and a whole lot of normal. Yeah, it's kind of a mixture of normal and retrograde. And an attempt to adjust our inclination here to where it is more over top of our objective with the moon than it is right here. Otherwise, it'll cost us a lot more delta V to make this adjustment later. And I probably could have moved it back closer to the craft because it looks like I'm 34 minutes away from this. The further away from the celestial body that I do this maneuver, the cheaper it will cost. But in this case, we have a lot of fuel. and I'm really not worried about it at all. So we are pointed where we need to be. We can zoom over where we need to be. And we honestly don't even need to adhere directly to this maneuver because it doesn't really matter whether we hit this spot exactly. All that matters is that we're burning in the right direction. So we're going to do that now. We're just going to ignore the timer. And it should get our orbit to get inclined and line up with our objective like that. Perfect. That's exactly what we're looking for. Then we just need to get ourselves captured. So at periapse, not even at periapse, we can do it here, right over top of the maneuver. And at this point, or over top of the objective, and at this point we can just burn retrograde. If we do it at periapse, it's going to be a little cleaner. And if we want to adjust where that periapse is going to be later, which I kind of do. So I don't want the periapse to be over here. I want it to be closer to our objective, right? So I need to adjust it. I never get that right the first try. I need to adjust out this way to shift the periapse to be in the correct position. There we go. And it's going to end up being an apoapse in a second too, because I'm already doing down here. So maybe I don't even need to do that. That's fine. We'll just adjust it here. You know what? It's completely fine. We don't need to worry about it. The most important thing is that we're lined up correctly. An additional 273 meters per second here. Okay. And I want to deorbit this as well, right? I mean, we really want to deorbit this stage. We don't want it to persist. We don't want it to turn into space junk. Okay. So we want it to crash on the moon and just get obliterated to pieces. And so we can do that as well. It'd be faster to do it. It'd be faster to just crash it into the moon now, wouldn't it? Then we can guarantee that it gets obliterated. Why don't we do that instead? Instead of making this maneuver right now, we'll burn retrograde right here. And if we burn retrograde right here, we'll reduce this to surface, and then we can stage this so that it gets deactivated, because we don't really need this remaining delta V. It's too much anyway. So we'll just burn retrograde here, and now we have an impact point. And so with that impact point, we can turn prograde just to make sure that the ejection for this doesn't push it forward enough to make it clear. We want to face, I'm going to face prograde so that this gets ejected backwards, which is the same as going just a little bit further retrograde. And that will guarantee that this thing gets deorbited. So let's go ahead and do that. Bop. Didn't I just do it? I did. Yep, there it is. So we've separated now. There we go. And then we're going to want to turn around. We're going to burn ever so slightly. No? Are we not? I was hoping that that would adjust us, but it doesn't look like it did much. That's fine. And then now what we can do is we need to go prograde again, just a little bit, so that we can not crash into this thing ourselves. So a little prograde burn here. Oh, we didn't actually stage it, did I? Okay, hang on, I didn't stage it yet. It's hard to know sometimes whether it worked or not. There it goes. And then we're just going to burn a little bit. And there we go. So we're not going to crash. Not anymore anyway. And then we're going to go out from the surface to adjust that and retrograde. Bring ourselves in. There we go. So that's going to be 190 meters per second. And that gets us lined up fairly close to where we want to be around that objective. So let's point towards maneuver here. And that definitely separates us from that other stage that we're leaving behind. So we should see that other stage kind of, I don't want to say it'll go past us. We probably won't see it pass us, but at least on the screen, we'll see an indicator where it passes us, I think. Let's not do this. Let's do this instead. There we go. Okay, and then there's the default name 7. Which is now 26 kilometers away from us. But it's going to crash into the moon gloriously. I think I can see that, can't I? Can I see the trajectory on that? I can, yeah. So this piece is actually going to hit right here. Which is exactly what we're looking for. 15 seconds. It's a very simple burn. 190 meters per second is really easy. 2, 1, go. And we'll expend the fuel to make this happen. It does look like we want to adjust orbit a little bit here. And since we're already captured, I'm going to go ahead and do that since we're already captured. So we're going to want to adjust this so that we're directly over that objective point. It is going to be cheapest to do that over here at apogee. I guess it's not apogee, is it? But this isn't Earth. We can bring you from this point. Why isn't that doing anything? What? Why am I not allowed to adjust the maneuver? I made a maneuver. Let me adjust it. There it goes. Come on now. Yep, like that. And then I want to go like that. That brings me closer to where I want to be there. And it also brings the periapsis way too low, which is probably not a good idea. Let's keep that up higher. There we go. Okay. I think I went too far. Right about there is where I want to be. You think we'll be able to see the impact? I wonder if we'll be able to see that impact. Let's get... let's go see it. Can we look down? Yeah, see? It's way down there now. That might be our point. Is that? I think it is. I think that's our signal point. Yeah. So our signal point has some lights on it. Just, you know, spoiler alert. Sorry, there's like some lights down there, so we want to see. But I also want to see this thing crash and burn. Actually, you know what? Maybe we can... Can we switch to that? I have to go to the tracking station to do that shit, don't I? I bet I do. Vessel. Armstrong. I think it's this one. Focus. Control. Nope. It's not that one. Tracking station. So it'd be Moonsat. No, that's the wrong one. Debris. This is what I want. Not destroy. I want to focus. Oh, it just disappeared. You won't let me control it? That's lame. It just disappeared, so we wouldn't have been able to see anything down there anyway, but still. I think we're too far away to see an explosions or anything like that, so it's fine. All right, we're facing the right direction. Let's go ahead and zip ahead in time here. And we're going to go for a quick burn here. That's going to get us... Everything's kind of shifted from before, didn't it? Like, I think we need to go a little bit lower with this. Like that. Yeah, I need to just a little bit lower there to get right over the edge. Maybe even a little bit lower. We'll try that. All right, 29 meters per second is all we need. I'm gonna do it now. I don't need to wait for the timer. We'll just go really gradual here. Go nice and slow. And adjust this to where it's right over top of where we want to be. That's fine right there. Okay. So the last thing to do then in this case is to, you know, land there. And we either want to slow ourselves down before that, which I think is probably a good idea, to slow ourselves down just a little bit. And we do that by just go ahead and burning retrograde there to bring us in just a little bit more evenly. And I kind of like, is that really necessary though? Like if we don't do that, then what's the likeliness of just getting down there, right? Like if we were to go here and create a maneuver node right here and just say, hey, do it, we can land like directly on that sucker, right? That's what we want to do. We want to land directly on top of that target. So I say we just do that. It's 666 meters per second, which, wouldn't you know it, guys, that completely expends this stage and has us landing using entirely this fuel from this. So that actually makes our lander a lander. I think that's kind of cool. We don't need to go straight down here though, because as we fall, it'll change for us too. So we don't need to go that far on that. I think we can. Okay. Sure. Yeah, that's fine. I think what we can do is move this. Yeah, about like this. So let's use 590 here. And then as we fall, we'll end up falling straight down for it anyway. Pretty much. Yeah, okay. That's going to be our maneuver. Shall we proceed? You guys like how much time we're taking here? These hour-long Kerbal Space Program videos. I think I think most people who frequent this channel are probably used to that by now. I would think you're probably used to hour-long videos all the time. All right, we did a quick save. You can see right away that everything's changed. So we're going to want to adjust again to land directly on that spot. So, because everything just, it tends to move on you. There it goes. All right, we're going to land right on that spot if we can. 591 meters per second. I'm thinking that's it. Are we tracking that? It is here. So I'm just wondering why it's not showing up in the UI here. Maybe I have to get closer to it for it to actually show up. But let's zoom ahead just a little bit here. And now we are ready for our burn. And here we go. 3, 2, 1, go. There it is. There's the target we're looking for, is right there. Okay. We are officially landing on the moon. It's just about where we're landing on the moon. And I already wish that we were just a little bit more. Looks like it's going to be pretty close. I think we're all right. Yeah. Taking a look at that ground altitude, we're looking pretty good there. I think we're not burning fast enough, though. I think we're going to overshoot. I'm worried about that. Not sure the timing was correct on that. We don't have a whole lot of thrust to wait here. But maybe the gravity's helping us out for this. Yeah, there we go. Starting to angle down. Gravity's going to start helping us pull ourselves down. And I think we're on course here. Of course, we're going to have to make course corrections, but I think we're solid. Right there is where we want to be. Okay. So we should be falling pretty much straight down. Now let's switch to surface. We're going to go surface retrograde. And it's going to point us in the direction that we're falling, which looks to me like it's pretty much spot on towards that objective. And based on our trajectory here, we're going to be pretty close to where we want to be. Certainly close enough to where we can walk to it, or just hop to it, right? Now, we've got 67 meters per second left in this stage, and we can use that to help control our speed as we decline here. We're still 30,000 meters above the surface, so I'm gonna do something you're not supposed to do. I'm gonna time accelerate while free falling towards this planet, but I'm doing so in a very controlled way. Why don't we go ahead and do a quick save at 22,000 meters here, so that if something weird does happen, we can reload and get back here before it actually falls to the ground. You don't want to quick save being super low, especially if you load the save and it sends you back to the frickin' Kerbal Space Center and you have to go to the tracking station and find your craft. I've had that happen once, and nope, don't like it. Not for me. All right, so again, we're still accelerating, which is no good, but I think at this point we're probably good to start burning the rest of this fuel off and then ejecting. So why don't we slow ourselves down just a little bit here. And that's going to expend the rest of this fuel. And we'll go ahead and detach. There we go. Let's go ahead and get our legs extended. And again, we're just looking at... Man, I'm a little bit too far away from that thing. I wish I could... I'm too far away. I don't like being this far away from it. Might have to try and hop to it, I think, after this. All right. We're burning as fast as I can here, and I think it's not quite a suicide burn, but we timed it pretty well, I think. Definitely could have timed it better. It's not too far away. We can definitely get to it. In fact, I kind of want to just... Whoops, that's not what I want to do. I'm going to angle. Angle. Oh, that's not good. That's not good. Face. Adjust. No good. There we go. And fire. All right, we just want to get ourselves pointing straight down again. It's not that far away. We can walk to it. All right, we're just going to hold ourselves steady here. We don't want to use up all of our fuel, though. That's a big thing. Of course, I have those little boosters, so that'll help me in liftoff. I didn't put any lights on this craft. Probably should have put some lights on this thing, but I didn't do that. Okay, we're coming down. Start controlling that descent just a little bit here. There we go. Lunar signal. All right. Let's slowly descend here. Keep the speed under control. I definitely did not suicide burn this. Because it's too damn dark. I can't see the stupid ground. Like, I could go by numbers, but that don't work real well for me, all right? I need to see the damn ground. I think most of you guys are like me. You'd probably be like, okay, man, if I can't see my shadow, I'm going slow as shit. There we go. Nice and easy. Nice and easy. Plus, I don't know if I'm on a hill or anything like that. Like, I don't know if there's an elevation change to worry about here. I can't see the freaking ground. There it is. I can see it now. Okay, perfect. Hey, touchdown. How about that? Pretty good. It looks like we're kind of sitting on the nozzle. The legs are positioned to where the nozzle is barely on the ground. But the legs are holding us up pretty firmly. I like that. Very cool. All right. Do we have any lights at all? No lights. I didn't put any lights on the craft. Okay, well, EVA. What the shit? That's bullshit. That's bullshit. Oh, that's bullshit. Total bullshit. What the hell is that, man? How you just fall on EVA? Like, come on, man. This is why we do this. This is why we save and go to deal with the Kraken and all that stupid nonsense. All right, if we don't extend the legs, we bring the legs in. Is there any way I could tip this thing up? I don't think there's any way I get off the ground here, right? Like, I'm screwed at this point. I think Jeb is stranded here based on a bug, man. But let's just see what we can do. If I activate this. Nah, I didn't think there was a way to do that, but no, there's definitely no way to do that. So we're freaking stranded here because of that stupid bug. I was flat. Like, there's a rock here. I'll give you that. There is a rock here. But I was flat. And also this rock, which you can barely see on screen probably. This rock is... there's not physical. All right, I'm clipping through it. So that doesn't count either. So I don't know what the shit that is, but it's cheap is what it is. I'll tell you what. That's what it is. It's just cheap. Shenanigans. I'm calling shenanigans. Also, I can't see the objective. There it is. All right, well, I've got a 2.5 kilometer hike to get to that stupid Mooner signal now. And then I'm going to have to put Jeb back in the craft so that I can... let's just jetpack this, right? We can just... Yeah, we can just jetpack this. Although, if we go fast enough, we might end up hitting the ground. Yeah, the ground is right there, dude. I think I'm going too fast for... Like, I'm going 21 meters per second right now. That is scary. Let's slow down. Jeb, I don't want you to die. But I'm also going to run out of my monopropellant, too. All right. Yeah, I'm just going to have to hike this, man. I think it's in the spirit of Kerbal. You just play it as it lies. I feel like that's how you're supposed to do it. All right, here's the objective. We'll just do it now like this. I'm going to end up killing Jeb because of a jetpack. There, he's down on the ground now. I mean, the thing looks cool. It certainly does look pretty cool. Somebody definitely did something here. Am I supposed to interact with it in order to, like, satisfy the exploration element of this mission? Do I have to actually... There it is. Yeah, I have to be on the ground in the vicinity of it. Okay. Well, there it is. We see it. You've seen it. Now you know what it is. The objective. And on that note, yep, the objective is there. And now we just need to go back to our ruined craft 2.6 kilometers away. We'll go ahead and get some science from it. Do a crew observation as well. Right? Why not? Mm-hmm. It's worth 40... This sample's worth 144 science, actually. So that's kind of cool. That's worth a lot if I can get back to... I have to get back to Kerbin with that, which I should be able to damn frickin' do. Damn frickin'. I should be able to do that. Should be able to get back to Kerbin. If it wasn't for my stupid spacecraft deciding that it's completely stable until a Kerbal gets out, and then it's going to immediately tip over. Like, no warning. It's just going to glitch onto its side, man. That doesn't seem very fair to me. Huh? What say you guys? Does that seem fair to you? It doesn't seem fair to me. So I have to really keep an eye on where the ground is. Again, I don't want to kill Jeb. I can't really see the ground very well, but it's like right below my feet, so... I'm not sure what the impact tolerance of a Kerbal is. Does anyone know the impact tolerance of a Kerbal? Like, if Jeb was to land right now with his jetpack, if he was to land at 38 meters per second, that's his lateral velocity, right? Yeah. The surface speed is almost 50 meters per second right now. If he was to land at that speed, I need to slow down. Slow down. Hit a house, please. There you go. There you go. Slow down. Slow down. Slow down. Back up. Back up. Go that way. There we go. I think we're good. Yep. I have a little bit of monopropellant left. But how in the world am I getting home with my spacecraft being like this? That is the real question, isn't it? What in the world am I supposed to do with this stupid thing? What to do, what to do. Wow, that is a big jump, sir. You really didn't need to go that high. I'm trying to jump and then land on it so that I can board, because it won't let me grab the ladder. Maybe I can... Maybe the jetpack will be slightly more control. I think it will be. Yeah, right there. Okay, and then board. I mean, I'm on the vessel, but, like, I don't know what to do. There's no way for me to get home with this. There's no way I'm getting home with this. I'd have to roll, and then somehow roll in a way that gets me to point up. And then to do so in a way, I mean, maybe my engine could somehow angle my nose. I feel like that's really disastrous. I think there's just no way to do. I mean, maybe if I roll enough to where I'm pointing uphill, maybe, just maybe, I just don't think. Nope, I'm just gonna dive into the ground doing that. Ugh, that's so stupid. Jeb's having a good time though. All right, well, that's gonna do it for this episode. I hope you guys have had a wonderful time. Looks like we're gonna have to go rescue Jeb because of that, but we did get the Lunar Signal Science. We can go ahead and submit that and see what the next step is here. It says, Director, you're back. My goodness, we can't believe what you found. If we didn't have visuals, we'd have thought it was a prank. Did you notice the bronze filigree of the arch? I swear I was looking at that exact shade to tile my bathroom. Did you also notice the crystal spheres on the arch? At first I thought, wow, it's a bit gaudy, but then I realized there's a pattern. Did you notice how bright the crystal at the center is? It's a certain sun that you shouldn't stare directly into. Oh, like a certain sun? Yeah. And the 7 crystals that surround it. Guess how many celestial bodies orbit Kerbal? I've jokingly referred to Kerbin as a blue marble before, but it turns out I'm not the only one who sees it that way. What an architectural marvel! Whoever made this had serious skills. Why is it there? Mission Control is workshopping 2 theories. 1. An installation artist snuck on board prior to the moon landing and built it while we were eating cake. 2. Maybe it's symbolic of something. The signal keeps repeating over and over. We think it might be a message. Maybe it will tell us how the arch got there. Mission Control has all hands on deck decoding the message you received. So exciting. Come back when you're ready for an update. Over and out. Okay, so now we get bad signal. Orbit a probe with a communications antenna above Minmus. Very good. We're going to Minmus now. And it says wheeling and dealing. Lightyear Tire Company has been trying to convince us to test out their new tires. Launch a vessel with at least 4 wheels. Well, there you go. Time to make a plane. Well, a plane usually only has 3 wheels. 3 sets of wheels, I suppose. So, maybe it's just going to be a rover. Maybe we can probably send a rover to Minmus. Who knows? Maybe we do that. Maybe we send a probe, an unmanned vehicle. Oh, here's the mission. We send an unmanned vehicle with a probe in a cargo hold that will lower itself onto Minmus, open up the cargo bay. The rover can then drive out of the craft onto the ground, and then the probe then goes back up to space, where it then, with a communications antenna, orbits Minmus. Huh? We can do both at the same time. I mean, we could. Let's see. I mean, maybe the next thing will be get a surface sample of Minmus, and the rover will just do it, right? It's possible. First, we have to go I think we should probably get a rescue mission to go get Jeb, though, huh? What do you think? Thanks for watching. I appreciate you guys. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.